Hi, and thanks for logging on to the daily DVAR HALACHA. And here's a brand new HALACHA 4 units for Friday, 27th of July, 15th of Av. The 15th of Av is Tu B'Av, that's the nickname that it's given, and it's a very festive day on which we don't recite Tachanun. I'm going to tell you two more reasons, added to the ones we've been teaching the last 2 days, two more reasons why it's considered a festive day. At this time of the summer, the 15th of Av and on, is when the nights start to lengthen, giving more time for Torah study. That was viewed as a big simcha. It meant that the summer solstice is behind them, and now the nights start to lengthen. There's more time by the light of the candle, or now by the electric lights, to just have quiet nights to study Torah. And that was considered a great simcha to the rabbis when this time of year came and the nights started to lengthen again, for more availability to be quiet, alone, and learning Torah, or of course with a chavrusa, with a partner, studying Torah. So they considered it the beginning of the festive time of more Torah study. That's another reason why Tu B'Av, the 15th of Av, is considered festive. And the last reason is an astounding reason, but here it goes. There was a horrible massacre in Beitar. It's one of the 5 great tragedies that happened on the 9th of Av. And after the Romans killed all the Jews of Beitar, they didn't allow their bodies to be buried, which is horrific according to Jewish standards. We believe very strongly in everybody getting an honorary burial so that the body does not have to be left, shamed out in the open. So the Romans wouldn't allow the burial of the bodies. And there was one of the Roman conquerors who piled up the bodies, and this is so strange, but he wanted them to be the walls around his vineyard, and that was his pride, to have the walls of his vineyards be decorated with many, many, many Jewish bodies that were not allowed to be buried. It was such a source of shame and pain to the Jewish people that had survived that Jewish bodies were the walls and around the vineyard of a Roman conqueror, but he wouldn't allow them to be buried. Finally, after a number of years, the bodies were given permission by the Romans to be buried. And when they came to do the burial, I know it's going to sound strange to call it happy, but it was a good moment, at least, that these bodies were going to have their burial. So for that alone, they were happy. But then they saw a great, great, great miracle, and that is that none of the bodies had decomposed. Let me repeat that. Not one of these many, many, many bodies that were piled up had decomposed. That's a giant miracle. And it was, again, Hashem winking down from heaven, saying, even in your tragedy, I'm with you. Where would you ever see bodies that don't decompose? So they marked it and said, this is an amazing day. And it was the 15th of Av. So that's another reason that it became a festive day. It's going to sound even wilder to you, but they decided forever to institute into our benching, which is really a 3-bracha thing. They instituted a 4th blessing from then on, called the bracha of Hatova Meitiv. It's the last bracha of benching. And it was added on because of this unusual story that I'm telling you, because the bodies were allowed to be given to burial, and there was a great, great miracle that God showed us in the midst of that. And in honor of all that and the happiness of Tu B'Av that had happened on that day, we also added forever a 4th bracha to our benching, which you and I recite 2,000 years later. Till this day, we are saying that bracha, the 4th bracha, which is built on this amazing, miraculous incident. It happened on Tu B'Av. That's one more reason that it's considered a festive day. Now you know. You are an expert on Tu B'Av. There are no ceremonies that go along with it as far as we know, just that no Tachanun is recited. Okay? Now you're a bit of an expert on Tu B'Av. Thanks for logging on. Have a great Shabbos, and log on again after Shabbos for more. Bye-bye.